Hello everyone, welcome back to TA Solar's channel. I'm Anna.
I'm Tim.
Today mark our 11th episode, and let me tell you, staying committed to creating content in a solar niche for 11 episodes isn't a walk in the park.
No kidding. Every time we check the view count, it's a heart pounder. Before we begin, let's do our usual prayer for likes, favorites, and subscriptions from our viewers.
Now that our opening intro is done, let's dive into today's topic.
As you have already spent over 10 grand installing a solar system, but your electricity bills keep coming in every month. If you do the math, it will take a decade to break even. What's the culprit behind the loss of solar generation? Let's find out.
Okay. First, we need to understand that there are many factors affecting solar power efficiency. Today, we are focused on summarizing 5 common ones: temperature, dust and pollution, shading module orientation and tilt, inverter efficiency, and cable losses. We are going deep into how these 5 factors influence power generation, so you can address them according to your specific situation. To determine the operation temperature, you can usually find specifications in the module manufacturer's data sheet. We've dedicated a previous episode to explaining how to read data sheets. If you are interested, you can check out episode number 5. Now let's have our resident scientist Tim explain it in detail.
Yes, that's me. Manufacturers often provide a temperature coefficient to calculate the relation between operating temperature and the power efficiency. This parameter is known as the temperature coefficient of power. It's a negative value, indicating that module power decreases as temperature rises. You can use this coefficient to calculate the overall efficiency of the module when factoring in temperature. For example, let's take Zhengzhou, Henan province. Using a 280 watts module with a temperature coefficient of -0.4% and considering an annual average environmental temperature of 15.3 degrees Celsius. The module's temperature, when combined with the environmental temperature, reaches 40.3 degrees. Subtracting the optimal working temperature of 25 degrees leaves us with 15.3 degrees. Plug that into the formula, and the annual power generation only reaches 93.8% of the theoretical volume. And this is just one factor contributing to the discrepancy.
Well done. Do you need some water?
I did too.
Although Tim explained it clearly, just in case some of you didn't quite catch that, our video editing team will provide the calculation steps here, and at the end of the video. After calculating this power generation loss, I have to ask Tim, are there any good ways to mitigate the impact of temperature on power generation?
Yeah. Since the problem is caused by excessive temperature, the solution is to find ways to cool down. First, during installation, especially on roofs with colored steel tiles, it's essential not to attach the solar panels too closely to the roof. Leave some space for ventilation to aid in heat dissipation. If conditions allow, you can even add fans or water misting systems for cooling.
Not everyone has the fans and the water misting system, but the solar panel does.
Sounds very extravagant. Those panels cost over 10 grand after all.
The second culprit, which we've mentioned several times before, is the presence of dust, leaves, bird droppings, and so on.
Especially unavoidable dust. Don't underestimate the dust you can't see or touch. Its cumulative coverage results in almost the most significant power loss among all factors. Although different environments may vary, high dust levels and poor environmental quality can lead to power losses of up to 10%.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Very high. In regions with more rainfall, rainwater washes away some of this dust, reducing the loss to around 5%.
So in China, there's even a business for making solar panel cleaning robots.
Yes.
Can you imagine it?
Yeah. If conditions don't allow for that, a timely wash with water can also help.
A third culprit affecting power generation efficiency is one that's easy to overlook.
They all seem easy to overlook, I think.
This factor is the orientation and the tilt of your solar modules.
Solar panels have an optimal orientation and a tilt angle. For orientation, it should be generally faced south in the northern hemisphere and north in the southern hemisphere. Since China is in the northern hemisphere, the ideal orientation is facing south.
Yes.
Tilt angle is determined by the local latitude. In general, the tilt angle should match the local latitude for the best performance. Deviating from these optimal angles can result in a loss of power generation.
Let's use Zhengzhou as an example again, with coordinates of 36 degrees north and 116 degrees east. We are display a chart showing power generation values at different orientations and the tilt angles for your reference.
And one more thing to note is that flatter tilt angle tend to accumulate more dust. So, as we've said before, it's essential to clean them regularly.
The fourth factor affecting solar power system efficiency is one our viewers might be very familiar with.
Yes.
The inverter.
Serving as the heart of the solar panel system is an essential component. It has its own power losses due to the heat generated by electric and inductive components. It has its own power losses due to the heat generated by electric and inductive components, which are specified in the datasheet. So we won't go into detail here. However, it's worth mentioning that the inverter is also affected by environmental temperatures. Therefore, during installation, it's essential to place the inverter in a cool and well-ventilated location, away from direct sunlight. You can even add sunshades to keep it cool.
Does it also need some fans or misting system?
If you have so much money, you can do it.
Okay. Final factor is the losses in DC and AC cables and the contact point losses. Cable losses are challenging to avoid completely in practice, but you can minimize them by using high-quality materials.
By engineering standards, DC line losses are typically calculated at 2%, while AC side losses are minimal, calculated at 1%. Additionally, there's a 1% loss due to the contact points on both AC and DC sides. This totals to a 5% loss, assuming you are using proper cable specifications and terminals. If you use substandard cables and connectors, you could experience even greater losses or even the risk of a fire.
Wow. We've listed 5 factors that can lead to decrease the solar power system efficiency. We've also provided rough estimation formulas for each factor's losses.
You can calculate the overall efficiency reduction caused by system losses by multiplying all these factors together as shown in the formula below. I think that's very long enough. In summarize, the system efficiency is reduced to 80% and the system losses are 20%.
From designing and installing your solar system to its actual implementation, it's essential to be mindful of factors like orientation and climate. Regular cleaning and equipment maintenance are crucial for optimum performance. That wraps up today's video and is another episode picked with valuable information.
Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe if you enjoyed our content.
See you next time. Bye.